Welcome to the Real with Joseph Lamtman. I am Joseph Lamtman. I think I said Lamtman weird there at the beginning. But anyways, happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a good week. It's finally the weekend, Labor Day weekend. Everybody has a fun and adventurous weekend. But anywho, happy Friday. Today's show will be a little different. We're not really gonna talk about anything in terms of serious, in terms of anxiety and all the other stuff we talk about on this show. We've talked a lot about a lot of things on this show in terms of those topics, and so I would encourage you guys to go back and watch some of the previous episodes, and let me know what you think about the conversation we had between Mike and I, and all the way back when I had Joe the Paisan Zavarelli on, and then when I had my buddy Zach on, we had a good discussion about work ethic and all that, and so but today's show, it's going to be strictly sports. We're going to talk about Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs, that shocker yesterday. And then we're going to talk about tomorrow's game, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I think Mike and I both believe it's going to be a beatdown in the horseshoe tomorrow night. So, that's our show for today. Without further ado, might as well just get the man up here himself. I don't know what he's doing there, petting his cat.
Yeah, that's Travis. Right. He's old. He does what he wants.
Yeah, I guess so. But welcome back to the Real Mike in this Friday edition of sports. And so I guess we'll start with the first topic here today. We get right to it. Well, actually, let me give a backstory. Yesterday, I'm sitting there. Yesterday was a birthday, and I'm sitting there, getting my hair cut, and I'm not paying attention. I look down at my phone at like 3:40, and all I see is a text from Mike that says, "Holy shit, what the you know what?" And I'm like, okay, what happened? I knew something happened. It was in all caps too. And I look up and I see the tweet from Woj. It said the Cavs acquired Donovan Mitchell. And I look, okay, what'd they give up? Okay, Colin Sexton, I get that. Lauri Markkanen, the rookie Oshai, and 3 picks. I'm like, that's it? Like we didn't touch the big 3 at all. We just added to it.
Our whole core is still there.
I'm like, our whole core is still there. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I guess what's your initial reaction, Mike, to Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs?
We called it. That's my initial reaction.
Yeah, we did call it on the show.
We brought it up. Yeah. Spider Mitchell is exactly what the Cavs need. I think where he doesn't have to worry about defense too much, and maybe he doesn't have to worry about himself dropping 35 plus points a game. He has people around him he knows that can get him 20 plus points. Even though Rudy has had 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, I still think Jarrett Allen is a more consistent player,
more skill offensively.
Yeah, especially offensively.
I don't think Rudy Gobert ever shot more than 3 shots a game, or maybe if it was all dunks and lobs.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not really a guy you throw the ball to and post him up.
Right. And, I'm so excited to see what we get out of Mobley year 2. I know he's been working a lot. And then, Kevin Love's in great spirits as he should be. It's just one of my favorite things is to see Kevin Love just not pissed off anymore.
Remember? Yeah. Oh, man. He had to go through the little ass.
Oh, dude. And he talks about his dealing with panic disorder and anxiety as a professional athlete, as we
all watched him have one big game against the I remember that game too. It was the game 7 against the Pacers in 2018, and that was a hell of a year. Number one, that was a lot of drama that year for obvious reasons. But, I remember watching that. The game, he just shot out and ran it back to the locker room. And I remember he describing he was back there. He's like, that was the first time I really had one like that. He's like, I feel like I was going to die. And then the dude came out in the fourth quarter, just went ballistic. He had 7 straight points.
Right.
I think he had a ton was a big part of that game and then winning that, or stepped up big in them to help them win that game. Because I think LeBron went out for a minute. If I remember that correctly. But
yeah.
It's a good point.
It's good to see him happy. It's good. I think the Cavs, I know we kind of talked about before we decided to do the show like we got to run through the East, because like the one thing I'm still not like 100 on, right, is like where does this put the Cavs,
That's what
right?
I'm looking at. I'm writing it down. So
Because I still don't even really know, because I mean the East isn't like a division, or it's not the conference where it's like, okay, like you got two powerhouse teams that are really hard or almost near impossible to run through. Like out west, I still think that would be, I think Golden State and Phoenix right now are like those two teams. Out here,
I like the Clippers.
I if they can stay healthy, I think you're right. Maybe three then, if they can stay healthy. But like, I mean, isn't it weird to think like they've been together for 3 years and we've only seen like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George play like 10 games together or something
When they're
silly?
on the court, when they're at their peak, though, they're
Oh,
damn
I mean,
good.
yeah,
But
Kawhi Leonard's
I
one of
think
the best in
this
the league.
roster they got this year is really good. But before we get going, I want to real tick my or I don't know what I'm saying. Real quick, I'm going to give my take on this trade. I think number one was a fabulous trade, and we'll pull it up here on the screen. Number one, all you gave up was Colin Sexton. You knew he was out the door.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colin. I'm still a Colin fan. I like Colin.
I don't know hate towards the guy.
No. I'll be rooting for him. 4 years, $72 million, all guaranteed.
Good for him.
Salute to you, brother. Laurie Marketing, yeah, he can go. He was kind of a log jam, anyways. Nice little player, nice young player, but he can go. Okay, and then Oshai Abaji. I like his upside. I know we were talking about it. He looked good in the summer league, but is he Donovan Mitchell, who's a top 15, 20 player? No. And so you get him, and then 2025, 2026. Let's see. So 25, 27, and 29 are all unprotected. And then 26 and 28 are pick swaps. So I have no problem with it because, it's funny. I was watching a show earlier and they made a hell of a point. This is similar to the Browns, what they did with Deshaun Watson in terms of you look at the AFC, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert,
Russell Wilson now.
Burrow, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, even I think last year looked really good. Lamar Jackson.
He gets so much hate. Derek Carr's good QB. He gets really so much hate.
Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson. I think we're better Allen this year. Yeah, Josh Allen. I mean, it's so deep. You have to have an elite quarterback to win in that division, in that conference. And so I look at this here. You look at the East: Brooklyn, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, Atlanta got better. Philly. I mean, that's 6 teams right there. You got to have some firepower to keep up. I mean, because you look outside of Darius Garland last year, all they had was Darius Garland to get the ball to in the fourth quarter. And so now you got a guy, though, who can go out. He's gotten 51 points in a playoff game before, twice, I think, actually. He's a guy who get the ball, put in his hands for about, the last 8 minutes of a game, like just go get us buckets. He can do that for certain points in the game. And so I thought it was a phenomenal trade. I think go ahead and give Kobe Altman an infinity contract for a lifetime.
Kobe Altman's the GOAT.
Is the man. That dude, I remember 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, rather, when LeBron was leaving, everybody was laughing at that guy. Like, oh, the Cavs are going to suck, and they got Kobe Altman. I remember people were saying. And, look what the guy did 5 years later. He did it the right way, too, for the draft and trades.
And, I want to say I wish I was rich, because I would love to send all the Knicks fans a little bottle of Jameson just to drown their sorrows.
What a sad-ass franchise.
Did you see that A. Smith was crying in his car? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, he can.
He'd be like, y'all kill me with this shit.
Yeah, anyway, I'm going to start with him. But, yeah, the Knicks, though, the Knicks fans, I mean, I thought the Browns fans had it rough. I mean, at least we got at least we can bring in star power here. At least we brought in stars.
Yeah.
And considering we're a mid-major market, man, the Knicks, I don't know what and people thought it was a done deal, him to the Knicks. They were like, oh, it's done. And then all of a sudden, Monday night, here comes, we signed RJ Barrett. And I remember I saw that, and I'm like, huh? Because I even thought Donovan Mitchell was going to the Knicks. I thought it was done. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's where he's going.
Right.
And I know we had brought up about him with the Cavs. We threw it out there because we know the Cavs had the assets to do it. And then we're just like, looks like he wants to go to New York. They're earmarking him there. And then all of a sudden, nope. And then where'd he end up? He went to Cleveland.
And they asked him too. Apparently, the report was like Kobe Altman was like, "Yeah, we'll do the deal, but I want it to be clear. Like, does Donovan want to be a Cavalier? Like, was he going to be okay with that?"
Mm-hmm.
And Donovan was all on board. There was a report of him like running in circles in celebration at a golf course.
He was out on a golf course, and he found out, and he's like, "What do we give up? Do we give up any of the big three or Kevin Love?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, started shouting and screaming. They said, just took off running.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah, they did it. They did it a smart way, man. I mean,
Did you hear how Kobe Altman did it? They had talked to Utah last week.
I think I did hear this, but yeah, go on.
And Monday night, he was at Serena Williams' tennis match, and he said he was sitting in the stands, and he saw the news that the Knicks had gave R.J. Barrett the contract, pretty much saying they were out.
Yeah,
and immediately called him right away and was like, okay, what can we do? Like, bet. Like, what can we do? We got Colin Sexton. We can give him the money. We can set it all up, blah, blah, blah. And he pulled it off in 48 hours. It was that quick. And usually, now, I think this has been in the works. I'm not saying it was a done deal, but I think they had
an idea of what
they had an idea. And I think Donovan had an idea, too, that the Cavs were a possibility because he's working out with Kevin Love this offseason. He was running pickup games with Darius Garland.
I did see that.
But they had an idea.
Look pass to D. Mitchell for the dunk. That was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, these guys all run kind of in the same circles too. So, but the fact that it happened, though, I was just like, damn, like we'll be nice next year. And so we talked about Philly. I'm writing down the teams here. Philly, and then we said Atlanta. So I got 6 teams that I think are going to make the playoffs. Brooklyn's definitely going. Boston, Miami, Milwaukee's definitely going. Philly's going. And I think Atlanta's going. So that's 6. I'd put the Cavs right there. Actually, and I'd put the Cavs next. I would take the Cavs over Atlanta.
I would too.
I might even take them over Philly. I'm not 100% sold on.
I'm not sold on Philly either. I don't think Philly's sold on Philly.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they are either. The only team I wouldn't take them over is Brooklyn. Boston got better, I think, and then Milwaukee, and then Miami. Though, see, Miami's weird.
Miami is weird.
I don't think Miami has the firepower we have.
No, and the thing about especially like Atlanta and Miami, they're not very strong defensive teams, I don't think.
Well,
I know
Miami's
they played
defensively.
Yeah, I know they played good like the second
That's part of their culture down there. If you're on a Pat Riley team, your ass is getting down in a stance and playing defense every possession.
But I mean, Atlanta, I know for sure doesn't play a lick of defense. They just try and rely on
trying to run a gun.
Yeah. So I think we're better defensively. I think we're better rounded, honestly. With the starting 5, I mean, we know it's going to be Mobley, Allen, Garland, Mitchell, and then
it's going to be a Okoro, I think. Who actually?
I think it's going to be Karras, man. I really do think it's going to be Karras at the small forward position.
I think they want Karras, Rubio, and Caleb off the bench, which is a really nice bench.
That would be. I think. I don't know. I think Ricky Rubio.
I think you have to put Isaac out there for defense purposes.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All he has to be, because if you think about it, a smaller backcourt per se. Actually, this backcourt's a little bigger than this. I think. Maybe they're the same. Is Donovan Mitchell taller than Devin Booker? Are they about the same?
No.
D Book's about what, 6'3"?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's listed at 6'1".
Is he 6'1"?
Yeah.
I thought he's like 6'2", 6'3". Maybe he is with shoes on. I don't know, but that's what you're looking at, the Chris Paul, Devin Booker type backcourt with size-wise. That's the closest thing I could think of off the top of my head.
Except that point guard's about 18 years younger. Chris
But he's
Paul.
damn good though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know hate to Chris Paul.
No, Chris Paul's a legend.
Yeah.
But
Future Hall of Famer.
oh yeah, for sure, first ballot. But so they at their 3, they got Mikal Bridges, who's just a 3-and-D guy. Can Okoro be that for us? I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. He's already got the defense down, and his shooting looks better.
It did look better last year than it did the year previous.
I'm saying in the offseason, I saw him work out. He looks better.
Okay.
Actually, I watched him because I was curious today. I was sitting and thinking about it. I'm like, how does he look today? Or how does he look in this offseason? Because so I went online and there was some runs of him doing like some pickup runs, one-on-ones. He looks improved with his jump shot. And then I saw the Cavs actually did a whole team workout in LA this week, or this week or last week, and he was knocking down the corner threes.
I mean, if he can do it, like I'm all for it. I've never been like I love my Cavs. I've never been very high on Okoro. I think he's a great kid. You know, he loves the community. He gives back a lot. Nothing against him as a person, but I haven't been very impressed with his play. I'm hoping he does the switch like Garland did. I mean, Garland, people were saying, is it the worst draft pick ever? Because Garland just didn't shore out his rookie year, and then
they didn't
now
put
look
it
at
in
him.
context though. The dude was coming off a major injury, and he only played 3 games in college.
But that's what they were saying. Yeah,
of course he's going to struggle.
But now I mean, he's one of arguably he's probably the best young point guard out there. At least true point guard. I think maybe there's an argument to be made that LaMelo Ball is, a better scorer, pure scorer, or whatever. But
I don't know about that.
Really?
Darius is a better shooter.
Darius is a better shooter. I think LaMelo LaMelo has the.
I think they're 2 different type of games.
Yeah, because LaMelo is a bigger guy too.
Yeah, he's more of a pass first guy.
Yeah,
he can go out and get you buckets, but I actually think Darius is a better scorer. They're just as good as a finisher at the rim. Maybe
better dribbler for sure.
Better dribbler. His mid range game's a little better. His pulling up, he can pull up on the dime. He has the floater.
And he plays faster.
Yeah, he can play faster. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor off the dribble. Catch and shoot. I think Darius he's a 3-level scorer. So
yeah, he's definitely top 10,
and he's probably a better free throw shooter as well. I would. Easily. So yeah, I would take Darius there. But back to the East, though, I look at the teams. So Brooklyn, Boston, Milwaukee, to me is the 3 automatic. I think the Cavs can go right there at the 4 spot. I think that's where I would put them at 4. Then I go Miami. That's 5. Philly 6. I'll go Atlanta 7. I think they'd be really good. And then at 8, though, I'm kind of bad. Charlotte or Toronto?
Probably Toronto.
You think so?
I think Toronto. Toronto still has a lot of potential. They're very well coached.
Scotty Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't. Miami is weird. I just don't know who's besides Jimmy Butler, who do they have? Bam Adebayo could be an all-star, and then he plays meh.
He's not he's good, but he's an all-star, but he's not.
Right. He doesn't have it. And then there's Kyle Lowry, who I keep forgetting is even on the Heat.
He's older.
I'm glad that kid won a ring when he did, when he was still.
Oh yeah.
Still.
I like the Cavs over Miami.
I'll take the Cavs over Miami. It's a weird conference.
I think all this depends on how good does Evan Mobley look from year 1 to year 2. That's what's going to change everything.
Right.
You know what you're going to get from Donovan Mitchell and Garland. That's going to be a great backcourt. And maybe similar to the John Wall, Bradley Beal backcourt.
Right.
In terms of 2 guys, you can put the ball in their hand and they can go score from anywhere. But you know what Jared Allen's going to do? I expect Okoro
walking double.
I expect Okoro to be a solid 3D guy, which is all you need. Maybe they make a move at the deadline, bring in another wing. Your bench is really good. I think if Evan Mobley can really transcend into a top, he's flirting with top 25 player, then this team goes as far as they want to go. I really believe that because I don't know how you guard him. That guy, 7 feet tall with his athletic skills and everything. He can shoot from the outside. We already know about Evan Mobley, but
Yeah, the world knows about Evan Mobley now. The president of the Cavaliers was like, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time
Top
Evan
20 all
retires,
time.
yeah, top 20 all time. And I was like, damn, that's such a weird thing to hear. Just like, LeBron departs, and then a couple years later, it's like, oh, look, another perennial talent. We just found him.
Crazy.
And
Who do you like in the so who do you have coming out of the East? I'll take I'm gonna go with Brooklyn just because I think they're gonna be pissed off and just fired up. And they had a hell of an offseason. It's crazy because they had all that bullshit going on. But if you look,
right,
they actually had a hell of an offseason. TJ Warren
I
would
do
start
like
on
TJ Warren.
he would start on the Cavs as a 3.
I do like TJ Warren a lot.
They just brought in Markieff Morris off the bench, which I think is a nice little pickup.
The Morris brothers are both just absolute deviants. Like they're great. They're such sleeper players, man. They can take over a game.
They kept Patty Mills. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Joe Harris. But I like Brooklyn coming out of the East. Who do you like?
I don't know if I'm going to go Brooklyn. I'm not a believer. I just can't be after what I've seen. Coming out of the East, I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think Boston does it again. I'm going to go Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee comes out of the East.
It's not a bad pick at all. Now I'm going to shift to the West. So you're going with Milwaukee. I'm going with Brooklyn just because I think they're going to be – yeah, I think those dudes got a lot to prove. They better go out and –
If Ben Simmons plays and he plays well, I could see Brooklyn coming out of the East. I don't know what you're going to get from Ben Simmons. I don't know how, Kyrie and all that's going to be. I just don't know.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I got Brooklyn. You got Milwaukee. I'm going to go out west to see Golden State, Clippers, Memphis, Phoenix, Dallas. Who else? Minnesota. I guess the Lakers, although I don't think they're much of a threat. New Orleans, if they get healthy. I don't know. Denver. I think Denver will be much better.
Mm-hmm.
We get Jamal Murray back. I'm going to go. Here's my thing with Golden State. When on paper, they look, to me, the best. But I don't know. There might be some drama this year because I don't think they're going to give Draymond his money. It's so
and father time when you're older to home.
It's hard, yeah, and it's hard to win back to back, especially when you're older. And so I know they have the youth though to help them carry through, but I don't know. I like the Clippers. I like what I'm seeing from John Wall. I think John Wall, who also talked about his mental health struggles recently, which was incredible. Glad he's back because actually I love watching John Wall play. He's a phenomenal
he's
talent.
Electric.
Yeah, and great player. But I think he looked really good this offseason. Some of the runs I've watched with him. I think, and then Paul George, Kawhi, you know what you're getting. And they have a pretty damn good team overall. We got to pull up the roster. I like the Clippers coming out of the West. I mean, what do you see out there?
Honestly, giving it more thought, I think the Clippers is a pretty good guess if, like, barring health, I think the Clippers could. I do have, like, a dark horse want that I think Memphis might actually have a bit better chance than we think.
I'm worried about Memphis.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually worried about Memphis.
Yeah.
They don't have a veteran. Like they talk a lot, which is fine. But they don't have any veterans on that team. I feel like you got to have that veteran leadership. That's important to me. I think it's important especially if you're trying to win. I mean, I think John Morant's a top 10 player, but I don't know, man. They need some veterans over there. I think might get a little wild Memphis this year.
They're my dark horse. That's why they're a dark horse. Like I think they have the talent. I don't know, like you said, the lack of discipline, veteran presence.
So the Clippers, they got Batum.
Sacramento. No, I'm kidding.
No. The Clippers have Batum, Covington, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Kawhi, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, Norman Powell, John Wall, Zubac at center. Even the young dude, Brandon Boston, their second-year player, he's pretty good too. Oh, old boy Rodney Hood.
Good old Rodney Hood.
Rodney Hood. Yeah, I mean that Clippers team's really deep. I mean Reggie Jackson's coming off the bench. He was a pretty good starter for them last year.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. The team I'm curious to see is Denver with Jamal Murray because he was out last year.
Denver's one of those weird teams. Like they have all the pieces,
and they play a great brand of basketball too.
They really do. And there's that one cat that his rookie year he was out because he had back surgery. Then he came back and he was phenomenal. I'm actually really high on the kid. Is it Michael Porter Jr.? Am I right?
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. He's really that's the X factor over there.
Yeah, he's a walking bucket. A couple more years under his belt, I think he'll be something special. But yeah, Denver's one of those teams like I want to see succeed. It's just, you got a reigning MVP, you have all the pieces, but you just haven't been able to make anything work when it mattered. They're one of those teams that just perplexes me. I know Jamal Murray was hurt, but he always gets hurt at the end of the season. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Denver will make it out just because I think there's just too many question marks about the injury concerns.
I'm just curious to see what they look like. I don't think they'll make it out. I think it's going to come down to Golden State and the Clippers. So I got Brooklyn and the Clippers. Who I would pick there, I don't know.
I would want the Clippers just because I don't like Kevin Durant.
Oh, you don't like KD?
No.
All right.
He's all right. It's just. Yeah.
Who do you think's the best player in the world
right now?
Yeah,
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay, that's what a lot of people say. They think Giannis is the best player. I don't know who That's a great question. I don't really know who I think's the best player, to be honest with you.
I think Giannis, but there's an argument to be made for like Steph.
Yeah, it's easy to say Steph in the moment because of what we saw last, but I don't know. That's tough. Who do I think's the best player in the world? I have no idea. I mean, nobody knows. It's subjective, but I don't know. I never really thought about that because in the past, I would just say LeBron and KD and Kawhi. That'd be my three.
Right. I mean, LeBron was for sure, for the longest time. Yeah, that was the answer. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I mean, he, for the first time, you kind of saw some chinks in his armor. I mean, here, even though like it's eluded him for a long time, Father Time's still catching up a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit.
Oh yeah, it catched up. All right, it was catching up last year. I can tell you that team was Father Time.
Yeah,
that was an old ass team there, but I think that was the oldest team on paper. Average age going into a season was last year, and everybody. I'm like, I knew it was gonna be a shit show of a year.
Westbrook's still on that team, isn't he?
Oh yeah, they're trying to unload him too. I think they're trying. The only deal I see possibly is Indiana, where they would get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner.
Why would Indiana do that though?
Buddy Hield. What I'm saying. I'm like, why the hell would you? Because they're like, well, we don't want we're going in the rebuilding, but I'm like, I don't know, man. 1 year of Westbrook for a 27, 29 pick.
Is there a seventh round in the NBA draft?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2027. That's the Lakers' latest first round pick, so they mortgaged the farm.
Goodness God.
Nothing. But yeah, that's the Lakers for you. But I don't know. Yeah, so I'll take the Clippers in Brooklyn, but I don't know, man. It's exciting though. It's an exciting time for the Cavs. I mean, just the fact I think they have a shot. They got a puncher's chance just to be to make it to the conference finals. But they had to make that move to be competitive. Like the Browns.
Yeah, absolutely. Cleveland sports is all about that. And we officially have the youngest franchise in each of the major sports, which I thought was really interesting to look at. The Browns, the Guardians, and the Cavs are now all the youngest teams in their respective sport. Which I just learned today, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I was at the store earlier today. I saw a bunch of people had their Cavs gear on too. I noticed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, people
That's
are excited.
Great news.
I was like, people are excited. No, I don't want to be in that store long. I try to get the hell out because it's just annoying. And you get to the register now, and you got to look at your total. You just want to leave. But anywho, Yeah, but no, it's pretty cool to see the fans excited, and it's gonna be a pretty fun fall around here. I can tell you that
Oh, yeah.
much. And so, starting tomorrow, though, the transition now tomorrow, uh, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Ohio State University, goes up against Notre Dame. The Notre Dame's been talking a lot of shit.
Their fans are peaking right now.
Oh yeah, they're peaking, and some of their former players aren't even on the team anymore. Like, yeah, our front seven and blah blah blah, and all this shit. And so, I think Notre Dame's a good team, but I don't see anything tomorrow. I think my final score prediction was still the same as it was the other day we were on, 45-17. I think 17's being nice, and so, yeah. I mean, you got anything to add to that? What's your game prediction?
It's going to be
tomorrow?
a beatdown. I mean, I think it's funny watching all these Notre Dame fans like on Twitter. There's this Notre Dame podcaster. He's some like 40-year-old dude, and he's just like screaming into the mic just over all of those Ohio State fans being calm about the game. Like, yeah, we're excited to watch the Buckeyes. It's going to be a beatdown, but we're excited, and they're just mad that we don't look at Notre Dame as like a threat. I mean, somebody gave an Ohio State Buckeyes ball for JOK to sign at training camp. I thought that was funny. JOK is just holding it like, what?
Yeah, write down the score prediction right there for us, bud. It'll be a blowout, a lot to a little.
Yeah, all love to JOK. I love that.
Yeah,
guy.
I love JOK. He's great,
but yeah, no, that it's. I mean, I don't know how much you can say. Like you can try and overanalyze. It's just.
I mean, how do you think the game will look? How do you think that like the first quarter? How do you see the game playing out?
I see the offense. I think our offense is gonna like easily go down the field and score, and I think there's going to be a lot of that. I think it's going to take till about the third quarter for our defense to actually start chugging. But that's why I think like the 17. I think that's a pretty accurate prediction of what they'll get.
17.5, the spread.
Yeah, but I think
over under on that.
I think that's all they're going to get, and I think those 17 points are going to come in the first two quarters, and then after the half, they're not going to score again. Notre Dame.
I think Ohio State, when they get the ball first, will march right down the field. I could see Notre Dame going down the field and kicking a field goal to start off the game. Nice little field goal to start it off, just to get the temperature going. But I think Ohio State defense, it's new, so I think they're your first drive, and plus your plays are scripted in the beginning anyway. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like after the first half, I think the defense will get
I think Notre Dame will go down, kick a field goal, maybe get a touchdown for the half. I could see this being a 17-10 game at the half or 21-10 game. But then if Ohio State gets the ball first in the second half and they go down and just put one of those drives together where they just, automatic, like 5 plays, boom, 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 score. And then I just think it's a wrap from there. I think they just take off and I don't see it being close. I think the defense actually will come out and try to, really make a statement. The thing I'm most curious about, and I've heard some beat writers talk about this in Columbus, is I was actually listening to a couple earlier. Do you think they'll try to see? A lot of people think they're going to pass for more yards tomorrow than they would run the ball. But I think because they've been called soft since last November and their running game was in question. I mean, if anybody knows Ryan Day, he likes to go out and make a point purposely. That's just what he does. He's an aggressive coach. Do you think they could run for more yards tomorrow night than pass?
I think if they do, it's going to be C.J. Stroud's legs doing it, like some.
So no Henderson.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be intentional, like QB draws, if anything, because C.J. Stroud is just so freakishly athletic. Like I think he can fully well do that.
I don't know if he'll be running the ball. I think it's be Travion. Can he go for you got Travion and you got what's his name? Just slipped my mind. The other running back who could start.
Yeah.
Mayan Williams.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna try and like do the passing game because like why wouldn't you? You got a quarterback like CJ Stroud.
No, I'm saying they will, but I think they might try to prove a point tomorrow night.
Right. I think they'll do it a decent amount to open up the play action game because Ohio State does love their play action.
Occasionally,
but if opening that up, I think I guess I'm speaking more of what I want than what I think they'll do because I really want to see Jackson Smith and Njigba. I hope I said his last name right. I really want to see him as the one now because
No, he is the one. It ain't even a
yeah,
question. He's
he's
the number one receiver in the country. That's the one he is.
really.
Oh, by far, not even close.
You don't think it's Jordan Addison?
Hell no. It's no. And he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he ain't. No, this dude here is different.
Yeah, I'm excited just to see the game. You know, I want to see how our defense shores up. I know last year our linebackers were meh, so I hope
Steel Chambers and Tommy Eichenberg, who I like. I think Steel Chambers will be a lot better this year. He got kind of thrown in the fire last year. We went from running back to linebacker. Now, interesting to see if the young dude comes in, Hicks, C.J. Hicks. He's a true freshman. He's the number one linebacker in the country.
I'm excited to see him.
So I'm curious to see what he looks like. I think that the back seven, actually, or the safeties and the corners actually is pretty good. I think Burke is going to be a star. You got what's his name back who got hurt last year in the first game. Who's actually a pretty damn good player. Not Ronnie Hickman, who I like. He'll start. The other safety.
I know you're talking about.
Mind. Hold on, let me look it up here. I cannot believe he's slipping my mind.
Who's our one D end? I can't remember his name ever. He's like one of the better D ends. Zach Harrison.
Who's primed to have a big year.
If he does, he'll probably go top 10.
Not right now. He hasn't had enough body of work, but I think he has the potential.
Yeah.
I think he could be a first rounder. I'm trying to think, what the hell is the safety's name? Josh Proctor, who I really like. Josh Proctor's really good. And then they brought over Tanner McAllister. He came over with the new defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, from Oklahoma State University. So, yeah, I mean, that team's stacked. I mean, Lathan Ransom, I think he'll be back. I know he got injured. Chip Trainum at linebacker. Forgot about him. I don't know if you know who that is. Diamante Trainum. Went to Hoban. Was a star at Hoban. And then he went to Arizona State and was a running back. And then he transferred to Ohio State, and now he's a linebacker. So I'm curious to see him play. That could be the help they need, a linebacker right there. So, and then Taraja Mitchell. I'm just looking at the roster, just rambling.
No, you're cool.
Then you got the two studs from last year, the true freshmen, like JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer. Those are the two. The next, like, Bozas or Youngs of those two guys. So, curious to see what those two guys look like in year two. I know they got a lot bigger. I think they said Tuimoloau lost weight. So,
right.
But, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm excited for tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a beatdown. What's your final score prediction?
I'll be nice. 38-17.
Only 38 points?
Yeah, that's why I said I'll be nice.
All right, be nice. Well, what would you like? If you had to really bet, though, what would you say? Because you're going to give a
I'd probably give another 10, probably like 40.
I knew you would. I knew you give like a wild 8, yeah. So 48-17. All right. I could see that. I think they can win it all this year, though, man. I mean, what do you see? I know they actually just got announced today before we came on. They're expanding it to 12, the playoff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just got announced. They're expanding it to 12. I think they're trying to get it done by where it starts in 2024.
Well, shit.
I was like, all right, 12 teams.
When's USC coming to our division? Is that happening next year?
I think so. Yeah, USC, UCLA.
Yeah, USC and UCLA.
I think that's next year.
That's gonna suck for those kids, man.
Yeah, that's a hell of a
fly all the way across the country for your own away game.
Yeah, get your ass kicked, go home. But
14-hour flight.
Yeah, I know, Kent State has to travel all the way to Washington to play Washington.
Oh, I know. Like, I feel so bad for him. Like,
I saw that and I was kind of like.
So where's the farthest the Browns have to travel for a division game? Maryland. Yeah, that's about it.
Maryland. What's the farthest they travel this year? I'm actually looking at that. The farthest they travel is
Chargers game is it Houston? Would it be?
Would it be Houston or Miami? Probably Houston.
Probably Houston, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Houston's the farthest west they go. Which ain't much at all. That's only like a 2.5 hour flight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it's longer than that. It's probably about 5.5, 6 hours.
Long. It ain't 5-6 hours to Houston.
Yeah.
Hell no. That's why I'd be like 2.5, 3.
It's about because you're going halfway across the country. Yeah, about 5 hours because it took me
How long?
12
Isn't it only
hours.
5 hours?
Yeah, because it took me like 8 hours to get to Denver, like 7 hours ish to get to Denver.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe 4. I
And
don't
the
know. Maybe
Denver
I'm off.
airport sucks.
See, I haven't flown in a while. I used to fly all the time when I was a kid. I was a flying machine. I mean, I probably flew more than most people that are in their 50s. That's how much I flew when I was a kid.
I
But
hate planes.
really?
I hate them.
I hate those new. I don't like the planes now. Everybody's crammed in and self-seating and all that shit.
I gotta take
Put me in the
the
front.
medicine that makes you fall asleep that they sell in the kiosks. What is it called? Dramamine or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
take
can't.
2 of those and I'm like, I'm out.
I gotta have my own seat. I don't need nobody sitting next to me farting, smelling like hummus. You know.
Oh, dude, the worst is when you're sitting next to strangers and you have to like. I've sat next to some cool people, but the worst is like sitting next to a stranger. Like you feel like
And
obligated
they're
to spark up
nasty too. And they
conversations.
smell. They
Yeah.
sweat. They look like shit. It's just
Granted,
like
I'm a sweaty man on a plane too. I'm all anxious. You know that the AC don't work right because it's all that like recycled, refiltered air. It's it always gets too weirdly hot.
mm-hmm.
You're not a drinker. I have the luckiness of drinking. When me and my best friend went to Spokane for our other best friend's wedding, it's legal to bring your own miniature liquor bottles.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to be in a bag and they have to be sealed. So
They serve beer on some planes, no?
Huh?
I think some planes they serve beer now.
Oh, well, they serve it, yeah, but you could bring your own. Those prices are inflated.
Yeah, I know that. I don't drink, but I know that. But yeah, because I remember every time my aunt flies into town from Florida, she'll send me a photo when she's on the plane. She's like with a Bud Light. She's sitting there.
There you go.
Like, I mean, time to party. All right, let's go. But
yeah, we had Gentleman Jack.
Weekend.
We had a bunch of small bottles of Gentleman Jack. And we just asked for ginger ale, and we're like, we didn't know. We knew it was legal to bring them with us. We didn't know if it was okay for us to like mix drinks ourselves on the plane. So we like opened it beneath like our laps and poured the liquor into our like ginger ales or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 of those in, I was feeling less bad on the plane.
Now, last time I flew was 2015 because I was like, I've been away for 8 years,
right?
or years since. So that's the last time I was able to fly.
2018 is when they got married. 2018 or 19.
I actually had a good flight back then. That was good. Number one, if you can fly to Akron, Canton. By the way, I'm eating grapes. If you can fly to Akron, Canton, that's what I always choose to do because I can get in and get the hell out. And so I can't stand Cleveland Airport. It's okay. I'm just not a fan of it.
I mean, I agree, but like every flight that I look at when we were going, because we had the same idea, like let's fly through Akron, Canton. It's quicker. Small airport, and then we're going to Spokane, small airport. The ticket prices were so much more.
Yeah, they can be a little more. We see, what I always fly to Akron, Canton, it was always to Clearwater or Tampa to go to Clearwater. That's like my second. Clearwater Beach is like my second home, but that's where I spent a lot of time growing up. But we would always fly to Tampa. But now you can fly from Clearwater or from Akron, Canton to Clearwater St. Pete Airport, which is like the Akron, Canton version of the Tampa area.
Right. I wish they still use that airport in Cleveland. That isn't Hopkins. It's the other one on the lake that I never see. Yeah, I never see
private jets. It's all private jets and shit.
Yeah, now it is, but
yeah, that's all private jets. My friend who I talked about, Rick, who passed away last year, he was a pilot, and he used to fly his own plane from Florida to from Ohio to Florida back and forth. And so he would fly out of Akron Fulton, his plane, and he said in one of those smaller planes, like the little planes people own, he said take about 5-6 hours to fly there to Florida in one of those planes. So you have to make a couple pit stops, get gas. But he said that wasn't too bad though. But that would be kind of cool though, if you had your own plane,
right?
Fly wherever you wanted to go. And he used to tell me all about. He would fly everywhere. I mean, he would just fly to meetings. Like I remember one time he had a meeting in Toronto. He's like, yeah. I was like, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, well, I got to fly to Toronto for a little bit, come back. And I'm like, all right, cool. Just flying to Toronto for a couple hours. Come on back, and then I go here, and I'm like, okay. And so he was a businessman. I mean, he was in five. That dude's been in like he went to like 3 different cities in one day before. He told me just for meetings,
Jeez.
like all over. He was. I mean, I remember people that did work for him, like I did, and the lawn care company I used to tag team with. We'd do his property. They'd be like, he would sitting there writing you a check. Like, how much to owe you to be on the phone with the head of DirecTV, inking a deal? And like, how much to owe you? Oh, this. Oh, okay, here you go. Bye. I'm like, okay, but yeah, it would be cool. I was thinking of him. He had his own plane, but I don't know, man.
My great uncle has a couple of private planes. I just think of like the John Denver thing, where like I always worry about that.
Yeah, yeah. I would much rather fly private. I can tell you that. And when I get older, the more I get older, if I can, I will. I prefer to if I could, but yeah, I hate being on planes where you're just crammed like that. It's just like, I don't like being crammed anywhere out in public. I don't like being crammed on a plane, in a car. And you got to sit there next to people like that. I can't do it for 10 minutes. I'm okay, but after 10 minutes, I'm like, get me out. Like, let's go. I need some fresh air. Like, get me the hell out of here. So, what's the farthest west that you've ever went out? What's the farthest you've ever traveled to anywhere?
Farthest ever, probably. Well, within the country, it would be Spokane, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we used to go to like Dominican Republic when I was a kid, but at least within the country, I've been as far west as you can go, I guess. And Spokane was awful.
Really?
Oh man, it was bad. Imagine Akron thrown into a forest, but worse. And actually, like, so you have the forested area of Spokane, and then everywhere outside of it is a desert because it's right on the border of Idaho, and there's this big desert that borders Washington and Idaho. And then like southern Washington is a lot of desert. Like people think that it's, all like Seattle, like all like coniferous forests, but it's not at all. And there were a ton of you saw the plight of the Pacific Northwest. I've never seen like so many like homeless people. It was sad.
Damn.
Like they were all like huddled outside like the dispensaries, and like
it's just crazy how much all over the country now there's the homelessness. I mean, even where we live, right here in Akron.
Yeah, I mean,
it seems a little better this year, but last summer, because when I would go out and bike around the place, all over the place. Last year I biked further out, then I stopped because I just stopped going over it. But dude, it was some of the shit I'd see when I was out there. Like I remember going through like Chapel Hill. This is before they built the new Harbor Freight right up there. And it was still the Books a Million, but it was vacant. There was people sleeping in the damn trees right there on Howe Avenue next to the book. I mean, I'd go by there, I'd see them. They'd been tucked in the little bushes right there sleeping. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is so fun. And then you keep going down the road by the gorge, dude. The gorge was bad last year.
Yeah,
bad. It was bad. I ran into a guy one day on my bike. It was that bad. I mean, it was like 1 o'clock. It was already 90 degrees out. It was a hot day. And this dude was carrying this giant book bag. I mean, it was like weighing him down. And you could tell this dude hadn't slept in days. And, this dude was actually like really home. Like, you get the ones out there to fake it. This dude was really like homeless. Like, you can tell he was sleeping down by the water. It was really sad. And I remember he flagged me down. And he's like, dude, you got some water, man? I need anything. I'm like, so luckily I threw extra water in my bag that day. Just by accident. And so I gave it to him. I gave him whatever cash I had on him. I didn't really have much. And so it was really sad though, man, because I remember I gave him that money and he was like, man, I'll take whatever. And it was just like, it was the way he said that too. It was like real desperate. Like, just like, I was like, damn, this is terrible. And I remember I told him, hey man, I'll keep, be praying for you. And he looked a little calmer after I gave him the water, but yeah, but man, it's bad everywhere, man. I mean, even just in Akron alone, like I said, it's just I can't believe just where it is now.
Yeah, I mean, the opiate crisis
Mm-hmm.
in Northeast Ohio. Even though, our powers that be have known about it for a while, there hasn't been a ton done about it, and that's a big component,
Yeah, especially the city we come from, the pharmacy.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily, like within the pharmacy, though, you're shielded from a good amount of it. Akron, like proper, like where the bar is gonna be, like I see it all the time.
Oh yeah, you see it out there all the time.
It's sad, man, because it's like, my father was addicted to it, so it's like, I get the struggle these people are having, and you just wish there was a better way for them to go find help, because once you're on that stuff, it is like withdrawals can kill you, like straight up, like not taking it, because your body becomes so chemically dependent on such a strong chemical that you will die on certain withdrawals. So like, and most of the time, like we put so much money into, especially the federal government, on those safe drug kits that give these poor addicts, like, I don't know, more resources to use the stuff, rather than government backed rehabs. Or
we don't heal people. It's just like anxiety. I mean, we don't. And I'm not negative talking to anybody. It's the same thing with anxiety, even in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a habit. It's an addiction. Now that's different. It's you're putting chemicals in your body, but you know what I mean. And for it's habitual, and it's a habit. It's an addiction. But it's like the same thing with any process of helping anybody where we are. It's all, it just keeps you. It keeps you in the cycle. It doesn't. That's what I try to explain to people. Like, yeah, you can do a lot of you can find a lot of coping methods, coping tools, and those are helpful in the moment. I use those. I had to use those. You use them. But if you really want to get better, like we've talked about, you got to take the next step. You got to really dig deep. You got to really find out, hey man, why do I really, you got to really look back and do your root causes and really figure out things. But they don't tell you that when you go to these places. They don't. It's just like you go to some of these places. I'm not gonna say names, but some of these places out there that say they help people and they advertise it all over, and they're kind of like, try to be cool and everything. They just go in there and they give you a bunch of bullshit referendum. And then what they do is they pull out the thing, and we're going to prescribe you this. Once they prescribe you X keeps you there. There's a time and place for that. I had to use medication. Not saying it's bad. I'm not anti-medicine, but that's not going to get you to the root cause. If you really want to get by, if you really want to, if you want to get by, keep taking that and just keep doing what they're telling you. But if you really want to take the next step forward and take off and be free, you got to dig deep. It's got to be, but they don't teach you how to do that.
Right.
I know we kind of got in a rant here, but
it's fine.
But it's very important though. We're talking about. I mean, because like you said, same thing with drug addicts, man. I know, like I had a lot of people in my family that parts of my family that I don't never really associated with or never really knew growing up, but that's what they were, that was their problem. And so it just makes you like, so I kind of see it with people all the time, like you saw it firsthand, and you start to wonder what really makes people do that. There's a pain on the inside, you know what I mean? There's always something that drives somebody to do something.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm gonna do this today,
Yeah, why not?
All right, that's just not how it goes. You got to there's always a deeper rooted issue, but I don't know, it's just crazy. And you don't have to be poor. You don't got to be living the lower parts of what we consider, lower end communities. It's everywhere.
Oh, it is.
It's actually more where you think the most money is, the most protected. There's actually probably more drugs.
Oh yeah,
or more. I mean, it's crazy. More pain.
Or like ice fishing in Hudson.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
Sorry, I had to put some lightness into it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised, even out those parts. I mean, it's everywhere. You're never safe anywhere, really. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy though, man. It's just I don't know. That's why I do this show, because we get down to stuff like that.
Right.
We try to keep more with mental and getting the root cause, trying to help people, but people got to be real though. What's really going on, and really look in the mirror To be honest, that's the only way we're going to get play anywhere.
Exactly.
In anything. So we don't do that though.
And
damn shame.
And to kind of transition back into sports talk again, we're T minus, what is it, the second?
Mm-hmm.
We're T minus 9 days from Cleveland Browns foosball. And there are a couple tidbits of news I would like to share.
Go ahead.
Baker Mayfield has Brown fans in a hiss, including myself a little bit, because he's producing. Have you seen this? He's producing these shirts, say off the leash Baker in Carolina, and it's got a leash. And it's not like shirts that are like getting peddled outside of, like, you always see those like ridiculous funny shirts, like you'll have like the salespeople outside of like our stadium with like ridiculous shirts, right? He is making these shirts that say that 9 days before kickoff to celebrate the week 1 opponent. And then there was one other shirt that said some dumb stuff too.
Let me ask you something. You think do you know any other elite quarterback selling shirts like that?
No.
I mean, off the leash? Like, what the hell, dude? Just shut up. Just go out and play your game. Like, this is the problem with Baker Mayfield. And there's things I like about Baker. I'm happy what he did for us. He took us to the playoffs, blah, blah, and all that stuff. But, dude, you can't, like, you purposely put a bullseye on your team when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not fair to the 52 other guys in that roster. Like, if I am one of my teams, and I think obviously I never played in that high of a level, but even in teams growing up when you're a kid, or if somebody was acting out, you'd be like, hey man, shut the hell up. You make like you're affecting the whole team. Like, we're a unit. I'm just sorry.
And this is after the comment. I'm gonna F them up.
Then he tries to backtrack.
Oh, I didn't say that.
No, I actually defended him in somewhat. I would defend him a little bit there. That lady should never put that out there. That was a private conversation that should have never been made public. She kind of messed that up. So I kind of get where Baker's saying, like, why should I? Like, so I heard some people saying he should come out and double down. I'm like, well, he shouldn't double down. He's not the one that put it out there. So it was a private conversation made public. But I'll give him that. But I didn't know about this T-shirt thing until you just brought it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so he is selling those shirts for game 1. And I
thought Dan Campbell's bite your kneecaps off was bad until I just heard of this.
Hey, man, I love Dan Campbell.
At least I like Dan. At least Dan Campbell means it.
Yeah, that's his job, is to fire up the players. Like,
but I mean, I was the biting the kneecap thing was a little.
Yeah, I see.
We're not going to go out there and kick their ass. We're going to go out there and light it up for 40 points.
Yeah,
we're going to go out there and bite their kneecaps.
Yeah, my favorite still from Hard Knocks. I don't care if you have 3 toes and 1 ass cheeks. I'm gonna beat your ass, right? Love Dan Campbell, bro. Dan Campbell's hilarious, man. But I see all these memes now where it's like with the Baker comment and then the shirt. It's like, oh wow, it's good to see Baker's already in mid-season form. But
I just wouldn't be saying anything if I took a snap. You're new there. You had to win the job. It's not like you just walked in there like, oh, yeah, it's Baker's job. Like, no, dude, you had to win. Now, you won. Congratulations. But with a couple F-ups, they're putting Darnold in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think...
Or Matt Corral's coming in.
I think Matt Corral has a better chance.
He probably has the most upside out of the 3.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I can't wait to just see how Myles Garrett just...
Yeah, what shirts are we gonna wear into the game? Is Myles Garrett? Should somebody else make a shirt coming into the game?
Myles Garrett as a pit bull with a number 95 jersey on it, like attacking a cat. With the number 6 jersey on it.
Myles Garrett should go get a custom made leash and put it around his neck and walk in there with the leash on.
Be cool.
That would be.
I mean, we kind of have the dog bone collar thing that.
That's what I'm saying. Put that on. But to be honest with you, though, I'd rather not do anything. I'd rather be professional. Come in there in a nice 3-piece suit or a nice tuxedo. Walk in there in style with your put the hater blockers on. March right in there, and just kick some ass. And we're gonna walk right out of there in style. We'll just fly the hell home.
Yeah, what's your prediction on the score for Browns Panthers week 1?
I'm gonna say I think Nick Chubb's gonna have 3 touchdowns.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
I think Nick Chubb's going to demolish them. Now, could be 2 because Kareem gets 1. I think they're going to score 4 rushing touchdowns total, so that's 28 points there. I think they're just going to pound them because their line's so much better than them on both sides of the ball.
I agree with that.
I think they're going to try to get Brissett comfortable. So I'm going to say Nick's going to have 3 touchdowns. I'll say Kareem gets 1. That's 28 points. And then I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Michael Woods will score a touchdown. So that's 35. I think Cooper will have a good game. I think David Bell will show what he's going to be. Flashes. And then I'll say, what's that, 35 points? I'm going to say 41. I think they put up 41.
Do you think they're going to drop a 40-piece on them?
I think they're going to drop 41. I think they'll be pissed off. I think some of the comments some of the guys have made, like Greg Newsom said he can't wait to talk shit big. These dudes are fired up. I'm going to say, you know what, though? Nah, I'm not going to give Kareem a touchdown. I'm going to give the touchdown to the defense. I'm going to say a pick 6 or a fumble recovery.
I do think a pick 6 or a fumble recovery happens. I do.
I'm going to say a pick 6. And it's going to be when the game gets out of hand. Carolina's pinned in their own territory at 20.
And they have to throw the ball.
Baker's going to do what he's done in the past. He's going to throw that pick right there. It's going to run. Someone's going to run in for 20 yards. Nice little score. So I'm going to say a pick 6. So I'm going to still say 41. I'm going to give them I give them maybe 20 because of garbage time points. I think it's going to be a blowout by the 4th. I don't think it's going to be a close game.
I could see that. I'm going to go a little bit more conservative. I'm going to go 27.
I'm just going off. I just think they're going to be pissed off and they're just trying to go out there and prove a point. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm
going to go 27 to 7. I think we get 2 field goals.
I agree with that.
I think we will have a defensive touchdown and then 2 offensive touchdowns. I think 1 rushing, but I think Jacoby Brissett will throw for 1 touchdown. I think Jacoby's probably going to have a line that's like,
I'll say about 210, a touchdown, efficient.
Nah, I'd be like a touchdown, 180 yards, no picks.
I'll give him 210. I think he'll hit a bomb. I think they're going to throw a bomb just to surprise him because everybody expects him to throw it short. I think they're going to hit a bomb.
Right, and then I think with the pick 6. Trying to figure out. I think I'm going to give the pick 6 to Greg Newsom because he's.
That's what I was leaning. I'm going to say Greg Newsom or JJ3. Veteran. I think the veteran who has called out Baker in the past.
JJ3 hates Baker.
But the guy, I'm being honest, the guy that I'd love to see to have a big start to the season, who's your guy, Grant Delpit. If he comes, I'd like to see him get the pick.
I would love to see Grant Delpit do well. I hope. I was so scared in that preseason game when he was on the ground. I'm like, no, Grant, not now.
Right. So you're saying 27-7. I got, what I say, 41 to
20. And I think one of those field goals comes. We have the ball at near the end of the half.
I think 20's being nice too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think they'll score a touchdown. I don't think they'll get much more. And
I could see that.
I think one of those field goals is going to be a 58-yard rip from we're going to run the ball once with Kareem nearing the end of the half, and then there's going to be 4 seconds left, and instead of doing a Hail Mary, they're just going to tell Cade York to go for it.
That's great. Carolina's favored by 2.
Yeah, I don't know why, because the
over-under is 41.5.
Yeah, I don't understand that much because that point differentials change is based on fan betting. So really, if you want to bet, bet the Browns because the only reason the needle's turned, it's not Vegas, it's people betting. So,
I think
because we were favored originally by the analysts.
That's not by Watson. Yeah, Watson was official.
Well, they figured Watson wouldn't be playing.
I don't know. There was some people didn't. They were unsure. There was a period. We even said it where we were like 0-6 games. But,
yeah.
you just didn't know. But I don't know. I think Nick Chubb's gonna have 3 touchdowns. Why I don't know. I just got a feeling. I think.
Their run defense isn't great. I
think he'll run one for about 40 to the house on the first drive, and then I think second quarter he'll get like a pitch to the outside on like the 15 in their own in Carolina's territory. He'll sweep it up and score. And then I think they'll get down to like the goal line. He'll just punch it in. So that'll be my 3.
Do you think we add another receiver before the season starts, or another defensive tackle? I don't think we add another defensive tackle after we've seen.
No, they're not going to add a defensive tackle. They're pretty good there.
Jordan Elliott's come a long way.
Jordan Elliott's fine. Tommy Togiai I still think's fine. I like Togiai, and they got
David Bryant looked good.
Perry Winfrey, you got him. You drafted him. He'll be fine. You can even move. Hell, you can move guys around. That line's so versatile. You got Chase Winovich, who's more of an outside guy, but they got versatility up front. I think.
I would like one more receiver.
They need one more receiver, but if whoever they add, it's not going to be for long. I don't think. I
think it would have to come from a trade because, like, realistically, who's out there? Like, I would and trade for like a decent 3 or 4 option, like a Denzel Mims from the Jets or like a Darius Slayton from the Giants. I've seen his.
I would go with a veteran. That's a vet, but I would trade for a veteran.
I could see I like those names. Will Fuller. There's something weird going on with him. I think they said like he's had trouble coming back from whatever he injured last year.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I'm worried about the receiver room. Like everybody loves to pick on Anthony Schwartz. I feel bad for the kid, but like he's had. Last year he was a rookie and he didn't have a great year. And
I think he's never gotten to get going.
No, he hasn't. And then
he just needs one good game, and I think he'll be all right. But
yeah,
I hope with him. No, he's fine. He's got the skill set. He's got the speed. It's a confidence thing. You could tell.
Right.
It's all rhythm.
I'm hopeful with David Bell though. I'm really
David
excited.
Bell's gonna be fine. I think David Bell's gonna be great. I think that was a great steal. I think David Bell should have been David Bell could have went in the late first round. I think that's his.
If he had a better combine, for sure.
Yeah, but I think you look at his talent and the numbers he put up, just the production, the tape. The dude's elite talent.
Oh, I agree. So, I agree. I think
even in high school he was elite. So
yeah.
But Warren Central in Indianapolis, Far East Side, which is the same school where my guy Jason Whitlock went. But anyways, David Bell. I'm curious to see what Peoples Jones looks like. He's the one. If he could come out and be the guy that people think he can be, it would really help out a whole lot.
Now that we're only asking him to be a 2, I hope that changes something.
I view him as I think he's going to be the 3.
Well, I
think David Bell's going to merge into the 2.
Well, I think they'll keep David Bell in the slot. Because DPJ is going to run those Z routes.
I know. I'm saying I think eventually, as the year goes on, David Bell's gonna be the high volume guy.
I agree. I think David Bell.
And I think, and I'm convinced, and I'm sticking to it. I think Odell is going to be a Brown. I'm leaning that way now. I think it lines up perfectly with the whole Deshaun Watson thing. I think him and Deshaun are probably good friends. They know each other. Won't be surprised there will be. You might see footage of them working out the next month or 2, since they'll both be out of.
Right. If we're poised to make the playoffs, I think that's realistic. If we have a chance
with it.
If we have a chance to make the playoffs, I think that's a really realistic thing. If not, maybe next year. We sign him for.
I think it'll be this year. Yeah. I do. I think it's be this year, and if he plays great, then I think they'll give him a nice little 2-year deal.
I could see a 2-year deal with like an opt-out option in year 2.
He would take that because he knows he's on his last. He's on towards
retirement. He's near.
He doesn't have many opportunities left.
He's probably got about 4 more years in the NFL before he's like a Deshaun Jackson kind of.
Well, I could see him just retiring early, just because I think he's a mogul. Like, he don't really need to play football anymore. This dude's a Hollywood, Paris, New York City, he don't need to play football anymore. He can be successful, and plus he just had a kid too. But yeah, I mean he don't need to play football much longer. He's
Right.
he's already a brand name. So
Right.
but
I love Odell. I'd love him back. You know, with
I
a
love the
quarterback
talent.
that.
The talent's electric. I mean,
Yeah.
I really wish it would have panned out like we thought it would have. But
Yeah. I mean, now we know it's more Baker's fault because I didn't see any players rushing to defend Baker when he left. It was all,
no.
but you saw players defending Odell.
Well, and Odell backed it up when he left.
Yeah.
He went in there and he did his thing. Like he played well. And if he didn't get hurt in that Super Bowl, he might have won the MVP of that game.
Oh,
The way he was looking, he scored a touchdown. He was on fire. Like it was balling. So, I mean, people say I know it's easy to put him next to Cooper Kupp, but he went in there. He backed it up. I mean, he went in there and did his thing. I'll give him that. He shouldn't have put out the video, which I know his dad did. That's where he messed up. He shouldn't have never did any of that. But other
and
than
he
that,
even
though,
said that. He even
Yeah.
said he didn't feel good about the way things
No.
ended. But
other than that, I mean, the clip I think of is the Vikings game when he was wide open and the ball hit him in the damn ankles. And I was just like, remember I was sitting there with my uncle. We just looked at each other like this. We're just like,
I was out back.
it's gonna be a long year.
I was out behind my dealership smoking a grit, watching the game, waiting for old Ronnie Jizz himself to like yell at me because I would just watch the games on Sundays on my phone. Yahoo Sports. I would walk around the lot just watching the game. I'm like, I'm not gonna go do anything.
Yeah, the old car dealership Sundays.
Oh yeah, I did nothing, just watch the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people did every Sunday.
Yeah, I loved one of my sales managers. I won't dox him because he still works there, but he was like, "Listen, Mike, I do it too, but don't be so goddamn conspicuous."
I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm sure you do.
If it's the Gobble Grinder, well, we all know about him. He's a legend. But
yeah,
we need to bring his name. I love that guy. But
yeah, no, I was watching it and I was like, oh, it's a touchdown, and then it hit him in his ankles. I'm just like, Baker, just float it. You didn't. It's not even a hard throw.
I remember, like I said, I was sitting. When I was watching my uncle, I was sitting there. He just looked at each other. I was just like, we immediately started talking about the next off season. Like, who can we get? Maybe Aaron. We were talking about Rodgers, Watson. We immediately just took off to that. Like, all right, who can we get? So, yeah. But anywho, yeah, man. I think we touched on a lot today. I know we rambled there for a little bit, and it's all good. It's a nice little podcast for you guys.
Absolutely.
Little Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday.
Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Kick ass tomorrow. OH.
Yeah. IO. Let's freaking go. Oh man.
Almost say it's fine.
I know you don't like to do it on your cast, so
I don't like to personally. I try not to. Sometimes I'm out in public. Sometimes I'm out in traffic and stuff, and somebody pisses me. I might whatever. It is what it is. But sometimes people deserve it. But, no, it's all good. But yeah, man, you got anything else in the way? What you still on the book of the week?
I'm still reading the third Mistborn book. Yeah, I'm gonna. After that, I'm moving on to I like to switch them up. I go fantasy horror or fantasy, some sort of different genre. Maybe I'll read a sci-fi book after this. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Got a couple things coming in, but just depending on how I'm feeling after this. If I'm got the taste for a horror book, I just finished The Stand, and I might try and not read too much horror this month, just because that was 1,400 pages of it.
Yeah, you got a little maxed out there.
Yeah, a little bit. So this book's been a nice change of pace so far. I'm about 100 pages in, so I'll probably be working on that about the next 5 or so days, and then see what I'm feeling. Might read another fantasy book. The new Lord of the Rings show's out, so I got to check that out. See how bad Amazon messed up, but.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cool. Thanks for having me, as usual.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate see you in the next one.
See you in the next one, my friend.
See you
later.
All right, I want to thank Mike for coming on, like always. Like I said, a little different show today. We just hit out some sports. This is more like just a kickback conversation around the fire, around the bar, you're sitting outside, whatever. That's what today was. I want to give you guys a little different twist, a little something new. Uh, because, like I said, we've talked a lot recently about all different kinds of serious topics, and definitely go check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, man, we'll just keep it going from here. Keep spreading the message, the word, and to keep growing this. And like I always say, I really mean this. If you need anything, even if I don't really know you or whatever, in terms of anxiety, what I mean in terms of anxiety, questions there, spiritually, anything, please feel free to hit me up. I got my email below for the show. You can, my social media links, send me a message. Because, yeah, man, I think, Mike and I kind of rambled into a little bit today about, people needing help and proper help. Not saying I'm not, I'm still going on my own journey. I'm not saying I'm like an expert or anything, but just reaching out and asking people for different resources, and just opening up to each other. I talk to people all the time about my anxiety because my struggles, my own journey, because it actually helps. And I could sit in dialogue with them and kind of, what did you do? What helps you? We kind of learn from each other. That's how we build a real community and help each other grow. That's how real relationships are formed. That's how they're supposed to be. That's how God made us to be. And that's how he wants. That's why church is important, because it's all about community. And so, yeah, man. So feel free to hit me up if any questions or anything. Hit up the anxiety guy. He'll always get back to you, or whatever. He's got great programs over there to help you. If you're looking for a step-by-step approach, go over there and sign up for a program today. Don't wait. And yeah, man, go Bucks. I said, Mike and I both said blowouts. We both predicted a blowout for tomorrow night's game. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But other than that, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Gone.